We talk a lot about immigration on the show, about DACA, DAPA, pathways to citizenship, but getting documents doesn't always protect people coming to the United States, as a new BuzzFeed investigation has discovered. H-2 visas bring foreign workers into the U.S. to do low-paying jobs that supposedly Americans won't do, but an investigation also showing it leaves them at the absolute mercy of their employers. It's a phenomenon that BuzzFeed is calling, quote, the new American slavery. BuzzFeed News senior investigative editor Jessica Garrison, one of the reporters of this story, joins me this morning. Jessica, thanks for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
Explain how these visas work.
So basically, these visas are sort of a child of the Bracero program. And employers who have seasonal or temporary work can petition the government to bring in people temporarily on a visa. So they come here legally to stay for a temporary period of time, and the requirement is that they work only for the employer that sponsors their visa and only for the employer that brings them in. So they come in, they work for that employer, and when the term of work is up, they go home.
Right. So tell me about your investigation, because if you think about this H-2 visa program, and as you say, it's an extension of the Bracero program that was controversial in so many ways, not because of the United States necessarily after 45, but what are some of the things that you found in your investigation?
Well, so what we found is that, we should say right out front, for many people and many employers, this program works perfectly. But there is a, fairly significant chunk for whom it doesn't. And we started when we started hearing about cases of people who were claiming things that looked a lot like slavery. There were workers who came in who were not paid, they claimed, and who were held against their will, sometimes at gunpoint, not paid even enough to earn food, forced to sleep in, freezing cold campsites or trailers without running water. And they had very few options because their employer, they often do not speak English, they're very isolated, they tend to be in rural places, and if they lose their job, they also lose their permission to be here.
Jessica, this is so important. This is an aspect that very few people talk about, much less investigate. I applaud you for that. It's important also that the government will say that there are ways that those people that are being exploited can reach out and can get help, and yet because of the language barrier and a whole lot of other things, many feel they don't have a possibility.
We talk to a lot of, there's two things going on. The first is that I think people, exactly right, people do not know where to turn for help. I think the second is that even people who are paid far less than they are legally entitled to under U.S. laws are in some cases still making far more than they would make in their home country. And so if they complain, they might get some back wages, but they will lose the ability to ever come back here, and thus they will lose the ability to support their families. In some cases, they take out huge loans to pay bribes to get these visas, and they're just really stuck.
Jessica Garrison, thank you for being with me, and I encourage you at home to check out this investigation. It's very worth reading. Thank you, Jessica, for being